evening going. Good evening and welcome to Sacramento State's 2023 Distinguished Alumni Awards dinner. I am Jennifer Barber, the Assistant Vice President of Alumni Relations and your Sacramento State Alumni Association. As we gather tonight, we are mindful in acknowledging that the land we use today was and continues to be occupied by the indigenous people of this area. I would like to invite Rena Horse, Escatima Center Coordinator and Native Student Success Counselor and enrolled member of the Pit River Tribe Astrawai Band, to share our land acknowledgement. Rena?
Peja Amawa, Nia Netavinye Rena Horse, Numa Estadwe Nu Guduktagat. Good evening to everyone. My name is Rena Horse. My relatives are Pit River and Paiute from the northeastern corner of California. My bands are the Hot Springs People and the Groundhog Eaters. I'm very honored to be here with all of you this evening to read Sacramento State's draft land acknowledgement. We acknowledge with respect the land our campus is on today was and continues to be the homelands of the indigenous people of this area, the Nisenan Pewanan, Nisenan, and Miwok. The larger Sacramento area and its rivers serve as a gathering place for many local tribes from the surrounding valley and foothills, including the southern Maidu, Putwan, and Wintu. Sacramento State recognized these lands and riverways as unceded traditional territories of these Native peoples. We further recognize these California Native nations and respect their sovereignty. By offering this land acknowledgement, we affirm our commitment to build relationships and foster a university environment of success to better serve Native nations and communities. Peja, I want to say thank you to Jennifer for inviting me here, and thank you for acknowledging our ancestral peoples of this land. Thank you.
Thank you, Rena. We appreciate you joining us tonight and sharing the origins of this land. As we continue with remarks, I invite you to start enjoying your salad and your bread on the table. You will not offend any of us if you are eating while we speak. I now have the honor of introducing this evening's MC, Kevin Riggs. Kevin is an Emmy Award winner, earned his bachelor's degree in journalism from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and came to Sacramento in 1994 after broadcasting jobs in Southern and Central California. Before retiring, Kevin served as KCRA's political reporter, traveling extensively across the country. His assignments ranged from presidential campaigns to political conventions to California's evolving landscape. He continues to provide political analysis for KCRA. Of importance to note is Kevin is also the father of two proud daughters who graduated from Sacramento State. Please join me in welcoming our MC for the evening, Kevin Riggs.
Thank you, Jennifer, for that introduction, and welcome everybody. It truly is an honor to be here with you tonight as we all collectively celebrate the Distinguished Alumni ceremony this evening. You know, you look around this room and it's packed. It is packed with all of the most ardent supporters of Sacramento State and certainly many of the university's brightest stars. And you gotta think all that passion, all that intelligence, all that energy, that's bound to rub off. So it all adds up to a really fun and exciting evening as we all gather to celebrate these distinguished alum in a room full of Sacramento State supporters. So once again, thanks to all of you for being here with us tonight to honor the alumni. Let me start right now by taking a few moments to recognize our distinguished guests from the University Administration. Feel free to stand or wave a hand if you want, but please let's hold our applause until we have the collective introduction of this entire group. First, President Luke and First Lady Adara Essen Wood. Members of the President's Cabinet and Administration, Mark Wheeler, the Chief of Staff, Kristen Tudor, the Deputy Chief of Staff, Sharon Takeda, the Interim Vice President of University Advancement, Mia Settles Tidwell, Vice President of Inclusive Excellence, Jenny Murphy, Interim Vice President, Enrollment and Engagement, Anisha Mitchell, the Interim Vice President for Student Affairs, Rita Gallardo-Good, Senior Associate Vice President, Public Affairs and Advocacy, Vajra Watson, Senior Associate Vice President, Placer Center, John Malikian, the UEI Executive Director, Carlos Navarez, Interim Provost and Vice President, Academic Affairs, Tasha Souza, Vice Provost, David Ziegler, Vice Provost, Chet Madison Jr., Chief of Police, and the following deans: Mary McGuire, Dean of Health and Human Services, Cherie Meyer, Dean of Arts and Letters, Jean-Francois Coget, the Dean of Business, Pamela Wimbush, the Interim Dean, College of Continuing Education, Amy Kautzman, Dean of the University Library, Kevin Shafadze, the Dean of Engineering and Computer Science, and Diane Heisen, who is the Dean of Social Sciences and Interdisciplinary Studies. And we complete the list tonight with SMUD Board President Heidi Sanborn and City of Sacramento Councilman District 7, Rick Jennings. Thanks to all of you for joining us tonight. Let's give them a big hand. And at this point, it's my pleasure to introduce the President of the Alumni Board of Directors, Devin Lavelle. Devin graduated from Sacramento State with his master's degree in Public Policy Administration in 2011 and currently serves as the Assistant Director of the California Research Bureau. Devin is passionate about Sacramento State and is a regular at campus, alumni, and sporting events. Now, in addition to leading the Alumni Association, Devin is very active in the Pocket Greenhaven community, as well as with the Friends of the Sacramento River Parkway and the PTA at his children's school. We greatly appreciate his continued service. Please help me welcome Devin Lavelle.
Thank you, Kevin. Good evening and welcome, everybody. The Sacramento State Alumni Association and the university have been presenting the Distinguished Alumni Awards to honor outstanding alumni since 1972. Some of these award winners are in the room tonight. I invite you to stand. Before we begin our dinner, I'd like to take a moment to recognize our generous sponsors this evening. Without their support, this event would not be possible. Our platinum sponsor, Tri-Counties Bank. Our gold sponsors, Pride Industries, Sutter Health, and SMUD. Our silver sponsors, Atlas Disposal, Safe Credit Union, VSP Vision, and Zenith Insurance. And I also want to thank our many Sacramento State table sponsors representing 5 colleges, academic affairs, and student affairs. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. And it is now my honor to introduce the 9th president of Sacramento State, Luke Wood. As you know, President Wood is a 2-time graduate, a very proud Hornet, and very much a distinguished alumni. We probably should have given him an award. This is kind of awkward. He continued his academic journey at Arizona State, where he earned a second master's degree and his doctorate in educational leadership and policy studies. Dr. Wood most recently served as a professor and administrator at San Diego State and has authored 16 books focusing on racial inequality issues in education. Please join me in welcoming President Luke Wood.
Good evening. Oh, we can do better. Good evening. There we go. So before I begin, I'd like to acknowledge 2 people. First, my wife and the First Lady of Sacramento State, Idara Essian, Dr. Idara Essian. And former President Alex Gonzalez, Dr. Alex Gonzalez. So after 15 years, I couldn't be more excited to be back home in Sacramento and at Sacramento State. It's not very often that an alum of an institution has the privilege and the honor of being able to return and to lead their own alma mater. It's a dream that I had as a student, and now I have the privilege of living that out as an adult. I'm incredibly proud to see how the campus has grown since my time here as a student, from the new facilities like the Shannon Science Complex, the well, and additional residential housing for our students. These have all been critical to student success and have helped make it so that Sac State is an even better institution than it was when I was here. Sacramento State has also seen tremendous success in graduation rates and has had a skyrocketing graduation rates over the last number of years. And we now graduate more than 9,000 students each year. Even with all these wonderful advances, there is always much more that we can do to provide additional services to our students to ensure that every single student has the opportunity, the success, and the support that they need to walk across the stage at graduation. These factors have proven time and again to contribute significantly to the student experience and to positively impact graduation rates, like efforts to expand housing, student services for students, improve support for our faculty, and more. One of the changes that we implemented this year for the first time was a kickoff event that was part of the onboarding of our new students, which was a new student and family convocation where new students and their families came into our union and had the opportunity to learn from the campus administration, from faculty, from students, and receive words of encouragement as they made the formal transition into Sacramento State, recognizing that the next time that we will see them is when they make their formal transition on the stage at graduation. So from convocation to commencement. It was heartwarming to see all of those future alumni and now Hornets for life gathered together to kick their time off here at Sacramento State. It's also heartwarming to be gathered with you here tonight, my fellow alumni. And if you're not an alumni, you're a family or friend. The alumni being recognized tonight are also part of the formula for success. And we have so many amazing alumni who have done just incredible work, changing lives, transforming communities, and creating upward socioeconomic mobility for those who are most downtrodden by our society. It makes you proud to be connected to Sacramento State and proud to see the work that folks are doing. They embody the amazing things that can be accomplished with a Sacramento State education and love for their community. Truly, we have to say that leadership does begin here. Tonight is a celebration of that pride and passion, the drive within the Hornet family to not only carry on, but to succeed even through adversity. We are so proud of them and greatly appreciate your help in helping us celebrate this Hornet spirit. And I would close like this. If you look to the future, you will continue to see Sacramento State and our graduates do amazing and wonderful things in the community. And as part of that, as an institution, we have to continue to evolve and support the next phase of efforts to ensure that every single student, again, has the opportunity and success to walk across the stage. Because we are the one and only public university in the state capital of the 5th largest economy in the world, and we're going to act like it. Thank you.
Thank you for those remarks, President Wood. As we all know, we can't do any of this on an empty stomach, so we're going to take a break now and enjoy dinner. So enjoy the good food, the good conversation, and we'll be back in about an hour or so, maybe a little less, to start the awards presentation. I'm also told that wine will continue to be available at the bar on the patio. This is a public service announcement until just after the start of the program at 7:30, so keep that in mind. We'll see you guys in a little while. Start your engines. No, that's a different event. Hope everybody enjoyed their meal tonight. and the conversation, and now it's time for the main business at hand to begin. Tonight, as you all know, is an important evening for Sacramento State, its alumni, its friends, and its supporters, a night to honor and recognize a number of distinguished individuals who not only shine in their own right, but also whose achievements shed light on the powerful impact and the influence of Sacramento State. Through their contributions and their achievements, we can all be collectively proud. This year, we pay tribute to a prestigious group of individuals who have achieved a high level of distinction both in their field and in the community, a group deemed worthy of having bestowed upon them a Distinguished Alumni Award. I'm pleased to share earlier this evening, that President Wood presented each of the honorees with a California State Assembly resolution on behalf of Assemblymember Kevin McCarty, acknowledging their contributions and achievements. And now, on to the awards presentation. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Robin Carter, our first Distinguished Service Award recipient of the evening. The Distinguished Service Award recognizes alumni with exceptional career achievements, dedicated service to the community, and who have set high standards of excellence in both their personal and their professional lives. Dr. Carter is not only a two-time alumnus, but also spent decades of her career right here at Sacramento State. She earned her bachelor and her master's degrees on this campus, then went on to another master's and doctoral degree in public administration from the University of Southern California, before returning to Sac State as a professor, administrator, and mentor. Robin has worked diligently to pave the road for many others to do the same by advocating for mental health, equity, and inclusion. And over the course of her career, she has served as the department chair of the Division of Social Work, associate dean and dean of the College of Health and Human Services, and a special assistant to the president, helping Sac State to celebrate 75 years and as a leader in the community. After retiring, Robin's social justice legacy continues through her endowed scholarship and active commitment to her community. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Robin Carter, Distinguished Service Awards recipient.
Thank you. First, I want to thank the Alumni Association for honoring me, and I also want to congratulate my fellow awardees for the recognition tonight as well. I often say that I've spent my entire adult life at this university, and that's partly true. I came here as a 19-year-old to pursue my undergraduate degree, and after some time away from the university, came back to have a very long career here as a professor and an administrator. I came initially here from a small town in the Central Valley, the first in my family to go to college. I was a commuter student. I worked while I was getting my degree, so I was first generation. I was a community college transfer. You know, all the things that we know now that are barriers to success, all of those things, I did all of those things. We didn't really have a fancy name for all those stuff right now. We didn't have first gen, all this sort of stuff. We just knew it was a little bit harder for us. We had to fit in and figure it out. I got some scholarships, I made some friends, I partied. So I had the real student experience here at Sac State. I'd also like to honor my late colleague Jim Dragna by saying I was through in 2. So I came here and I was out in 2 years. This university has given me so much, a degree, a couple of degrees, and a long career, and so much more. I had a lot of people who helped me along the way, and because of that, I strive to be a mentor. And I believe my experience as a first-generation student has inspired and uplifted others. and helped them to meet their personal and professional goals. And although I was the first in my family to receive a degree, I am certainly not the last. I'm joined by my family members and close friends. My son and sister and my best friend's husband are also fellow alums. We also have a grad from our sister campus in Fresno State. We also have several grads of historically black colleges and universities. I think I have a Hampton, a Howard, and a Spelman as well. So, and it doesn't matter that they didn't graduate from Sac State. What really matters is that we have kind of changed the course of our family in one generation. In our family now, a college education is expected. And I'd like to say, you know, if anything I did to inspire that, I'm very proud of. I chose social work as my career path because service was really seeped into my family tradition. My immediate and extended family was really deeply involved in serving the community. So when you honor me for my service, you also honor my mother and father, who showed us every day what it meant to live a life of service. I really can't begin to convey what this university has been for me. The transformational experience of a college education at Sacramento State is personal for me, and it's matched only by, you know, the extension of that into my long career here. I found community, I found purpose, I found a place. It's much more than just preparing me for the next job. I didn't set out to become a college professor. I was actually looking for a way to transfer out of frontline social work. As you know, you can only do that for so long before you got to move on to something else. And then I saw an ad in the paper. Believe it or not, youngsters, there was a time when if you wanted a job, you bought the newspaper and you looked in the ads, okay? There was no internet. Or else you drove around to see if there was a help wanted sign, okay? Never once in my life did I dream of the opportunities afforded me because of my association with this university. Someone has said, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And that describes my career and my service pursuits. Throughout my career at Sac State, I've been supported and bolstered by people who recognized my strengths even before I did, and who saw in me things that I didn't see in myself. I was hired by Ron Boltz, my former dean, John Colin, were both inspirations for me. We laid to rest David Coven a few weeks ago. He was one of my early professors, and throughout my career, I would periodically get, you know, a call or an email from him, kind of asking me how I was doing and giving me some encouragement and support. My sisters are here. You know who you are. There are a whole table of them. My HHS family. My Provost Baldini, who took a chance on me and hired me as an associate dean. You know, there was a time in my career I was quite outspoken and didn't always follow the protocols, had a lot to say. But at that time in my career, he took a chance and took a risk and hired me as associate dean and really bolstered my move into administration after that. I also want to give a shout out to Pat Holmes, because, you know, when you talk about a Sac State legend, you got to include Pat Holmes in that. So Pat Holmes was here when I was a grad student. She was also here when I came back to teach. When I moved up into as a department chair and throughout my career, I'm going to say Pat was one of the people who covered me and covered for me. And I know I'm not the only one in the room that can say that about Pat. I also want to shout out to Bernice Baston Martinez, who continuously pushed me to see beyond what I could imagine, and continues to this very day. There are many others who inspired me throughout my career. I can't name them all. But I just want to say, while I was here, I experienced so many wonderful things. I was allowed to take risks, take on new opportunities. You know, I'm the woman that had 15 jobs while I was here. If there is any new opportunity, I jumped into it, and I saw those as always, you know, great ways to learn and grow and develop. And so I'd like to say, in closing, retirement has brought me freedom. I'm still exploring, still finding new things I'm passionate about, but service continues to be at the top of my list. So thank you for honoring me for that. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm retired, but I love this university, and I will continue to be around in some capacity. So thank you again.
Congratulations to Robin. I'd now like to introduce our next Distinguished Service Award recipient, Dr. Viridiana Diaz, also a double alum. We got some high achievers here. Also a double alum from Sacramento State, Dr. Diaz currently serves as the Vice President for Student Affairs at California State University, San Marcos. Before being named as the San Diego Business Journal's Woman of the Year Rising Star, Viridiana was guiding Sac State's transformation into a Hispanic-serving institution. During her time at Sac State, she had an impressive track record serving our students as the Associate Vice President for Strategic Student Support Programs. Her passion for education equity and inclusion led to groundbreaking initiatives such as the Dreamer Resource Center, High School Equivalency Program, and Feria de Educación, along with $15 million in grants to close equity gaps and to propel Latinx student success. Whether it was here or in San Marcos, Viridiana is truly providing vital, creative, and admirable visionary leadership throughout higher education institutions in the state of California. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Viridiana Diaz, Distinguished Service Award recipient.
I will start by sharing that I am truly overwhelmed with emotions as I stand before you tonight. It is bittersweet but wonderful to be back at my alma mater, surrounded by so many colleagues and friends that I have had the privilege to get to know and work with for many, many years. And I say bittersweet because for those of you who know me well, you know that Sacramento State holds a very special place in my heart, both personally but also professionally. I am not just a Sacramento State alumni, I am a proud Sac State alumni ×4. Yes, I have a bachelor's degree from Sacramento State, 2 master's degrees, and my doctorate from Sacramento State, from this great institution. And Sac State has not only been the place where I earned my degrees, but also the place where I forged my personal and professional identity. It is the place where I discovered that higher education was my mission in life, and that I wanted to dedicate my life and career to making the dream of a higher education a reality for all students. And before I go any further, I do want to take a moment to congratulate tonight award recipients. I am so honored to be recognized alongside such amazing and inspirational leaders who have and continue to leave a mark in Sacramento State as well as in the greater Sacramento region and beyond. And then I want to thank everyone who was involved in coordinating my nomination to the Alumni Association. And I also want to thank our great students who have been taking care of us tonight and making sure that we have a wonderful experience while we have dinner. So thank you to them. My journey has been anything but conventional. I was a first-generation student. I was low income. I was an immigrant student. I was a migrant student. I was an English learner. I was raised by a single mother without a formal education. My mother did not complete middle school or high school. And I can tell you that in those days, I carried what many considered red flags or deficiencies. Thank goodness we don't use that language very often now. But the very reasons that students are often expected not to succeed or graduate from college. But Sacramento State saw something in me, something beyond those supposed red flags, and never gave up on me. And it's that chance, that belief in the potential of students like me that has made all the difference. Today, I find myself in spaces I could have never imagined at the age of 12 when I first moved to the United States from Mexico. And my only dream at 12 years old was to learn English and work in an office one day. That's all I could dream of. I didn't know that college could be a dream of mine. I have the incredible privilege of representing the voices of students who, like me, face many challenges and adversity. The role I hold isn't just a title or a position, it's a symbol, and it symbolizes the endless possibilities that open when we invest in the potential of every student that walks in our doors, every individual that we get an opportunity to mentor, regardless of what the red flags may be. So as I continue to have the privilege to be in spaces where institutional decisions that impact students' college journeys are made, I not only keep very present where it all began, where it all started, the struggles I have overcome, and the institution that believe in me and open doors, Sacramento State. In closing, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to Sacramento State and its people for this incredible honor. I also extend my thanks to my family, particularly my son, Mateo, who is 13 and is definitely driving me bananas right now. But he is my rock and the reason that I get up every morning and do what I do and love so much what I do. I want to thank my friends and colleagues, so many that I could never really name you up here, and you know who you are, but you have touched me in so many ways, and you have been an unwavering pillar of support throughout my journey. Thank you. And let us continue to unite and make a profound impact on our community, on our society, and the world at large. Once again, thank you for this honor, and stingers up.
Congratulations to Viridiana. I am pleased now to introduce our next Distinguished Service Award recipient, Daniel P. Hahn. Daniel is a Sacramento native, having gotten his start in the Oak Park neighborhood where the realities of gun violence hit close to home. Now, he never considered a career in law enforcement, but was persuaded to apply for the Sacramento Police Department while attending Sacramento City College. During his distinguished career in law enforcement, Daniel completed his degree in business administration right here at Sacramento State before continuing up the ranks at Sacramento PD. In 2011, he was sworn in as Roseville's police chief before returning to Sacramento in 2017 to become the city's 45th chief of police. Now retired, Dan continues his commitment to his family, the community, and the campus as an adjunct professor right here at Sacramento State, inspiring others with his dedication and his leadership. Please join me in congratulating Daniel P. Hahn, Distinguished Service Award recipient.
Good evening. So I, too, would like to thank the Alumni Board as a board that I used to be on, and the folks that nominated me, and President Wood for this distinct honor. Sac State is very special to me, and I think to this city. It's one of those core things of Sacramento, especially for somebody like myself who was born in Sacramento and has lived my entire life in Sacramento. So as a young kid, I used to come to summer camps here in Sacramento and at Sacramento State. I went to Sacramento State and graduated from Sacramento State. Now I teach at Sacramento State. I had my swearing-in ceremony as police chief in my hometown at Sacramento State. Had the honor of my mom being able to stand next to me. And I would say this is part of what I learned at Sac State is leadership matters. And I encourage all of you to not only be a leader, but continue to be a leader, because individuals can truly make a difference. And I've had some amazing examples of just that. My life would be totally different. I would not be standing here, I guarantee you. I would have not been to the places that I've been if it wasn't for Mary Jean Hahn and Kenneth Dale Hahn, my parents. See, in 1968, I was born to an African-American biological father and a white biological mother, and immediately given up for adoption, in part because in 1968, that wasn't that cool. And my mom, as a white woman, grew up in rural Minnesota, Painesville, Minnesota. Population right now, if you Google it on your phone, population 1,200. My father, who is a white man, grew up in rural Nebraska, Hamlin, Nebraska, probably population 200. And somehow those two individuals married and ended up in Sacramento and adopted me at 3 months old. Unfortunately, my father died when I was 5, and I grew up in Oak Park with my mom and my siblings. And my mom, being the amazing person she is what has enabled me to do this. One person who led with her heart and her mind and all of her energy and bucked everything that people were telling her. The social workers, thank goodness we have social workers like Robin, but the social workers that were in charge of my adoption and researching my family told my mom not to adopt me. They told my mom she should be adopting a blonde-haired, curly-haired girl. And they told her because a girl wouldn't keep her name. The thing I cherish the most in my life, besides my daughters and my wife and my family, is my last name. And they told her not to adopt me because I would keep the last name. So I got in my fair share of trouble, but my mom was this amazing person that bucked all those things that people were telling her, including right in front of me. The community, often the black community, would tell her she should have never adopted me. And I'm standing right there. That no white woman could ever raise a black son. And I can tell you, the only thing a son needs is love. And that don't come with a couple. So, you know, Sac State has a beginning to now too. And things have changed at Sac State. Sac State serves a broader student body, a broader community, a more diverse community, a more diverse student body, not because it just naturally happens, but because leaders make it happen. And people that go to Sac State now might not have been welcomed by everybody when Sac State first started, because leaders changed that. Leaders like President Gonzalez, President Nelson, and now President Wood to take it even further. So I'd like to close on one last person I would like to recognize. And for those of you that have been around in Sacramento for the last, 5 or 6 years, we've had some really mellow, calm times, pretty boring in Sacramento. As a police chief, I was like sitting in my office every day in Sacramento on Freeport Boulevard, bored out of my mind, no cameras anywhere, everything was really calm. And there was one person that stood with me, behind me, in front of me, through all of that, and probably took it worse, harder, tougher times than I had. Because, see, I could do stuff about the calm stuff that was happening in town. This person had to sit there and watch it, and had to protect our daughters, and that's my wife, Katrina Hahn. I married into an all-right family. Her brother's the police chief at Sac State, too. I will say they both lost their ways and went to Fresno at some point. She's by the way, not a Stingers Up Hornet. She's a Fresno State Bulldog. That's what I have to deal with. But not only did she help me get through that and help really do the biggest load of our two amazing daughters, especially through that time, but she too is a leader that has changed lives for the last 3 decades. See, she's an elementary school teacher. She's on her 29th year. One of the most rewarding things that I get to see is if we're in a store, like a supermarket, or if it's a really bad day, I might actually end up in a Costco or something. I despise shopping, by the way. It is typical for some person that looks way too old to have been her 5th or 6th grade student, looks like they're grown, come up and tell her she's the best teacher they ever had. And tell her about stuff that happened. That's what making a difference is. That's what all of us can do. That's what, we live in a great country, we live in an awesome city, but we got issues. And the issues can only be solved by leaders and people that are willing to buck the system and willing to give of themselves for somebody else and give more for somebody else than they would for themselves. That's what my mom did for me, for my brother and my sister. That's what my wife does for her students. That's what she forces me to go to her classroom and hang stuff 3 weeks before school even starts. So I would like to take this opportunity to encourage all of you that might be going through tough times and things are hard. Keep doing it. Somebody is going to benefit from your heart and your effort given to them. That's what Sac State is about. That's what all the folks that are getting awards here tonight, they're not only connected to Sac State, but they wouldn't be getting an award if they didn't make a difference in somebody else's lives. Sacramento needs that. Sacramento needs you. So I will continue to do it. I really encourage you to continue to do it. Thank you for this honor tonight. It is truly an honor because Sac State is such a big part of my city. Thank you.
Congratulations to Dan, and by the way, I'm one of those guys with the camera and the microphone that used to go talk to him periodically during those tough times, and he did it with class, so thanks for that. Our next Distinguished Service Award recipient is Scott Robertson. Now, in the nearly 40 years that he has lived in the greater Sacramento area, Scott has built deep and meaningful relationships with major nonprofits and leaders to make a difference in our community, while also putting 30 years of experience into the financial services industry. Scott started his career as a teller while going to college here in Sacramento at Sacramento State. He currently serves as the Senior Vice President and Chief Community Banking Officer for Tri-Counties Bank. In that role, he oversees all branch banking, home lending, wealth management, customer support, and direct banking systems. Service is also a priority for Scott. He serves on several nonprofit boards in the Sacramento area, including the Center for Fathers and Families and the Salvation Army, where he supports youth and underserved communities. He also actively encourages all Tri-County Bank employees to volunteer their time. We appreciate and we applaud Scott's longstanding and deep commitment to his family, community, and Sacramento State. Please join me in congratulating Scott Robertson, Distinguished Service Award recipient.
Wow. Daniel, thank you for those comments, and I connected with them deeply, and we can make a difference. And I'm so honored to be selected with this group of amazing human beings. So I just want to start by saying thank you to the Alumni Association for this recognition. It's truly a great honor, and I'm humbled to be receiving this award. And I'm really incredibly thankful to those who have been part of my journey I'm going to talk about my journey a bit and who have helped inspire me to serve others. I'm blessed to have such an incredible support network at work, in the community, and at home, and I'm going to talk about all three of those, many of whom I'm proud to say are fellow Hornets and with us here tonight. Let me start with my work family. I'm really honored to work with a group of terrific people committed to serving others. My family at Tri-Counties Bank give me the opportunity to serve our team members, our community, and our customers each and every day. We call it service with solutions, and I think that's fitting for tonight. It's our passion and our heartbeat. I want to say a special thank you to my boss, Dan Bailey, for always believing in me. He shows me how to lead from the front, and most importantly, he's a great mentor and a friend. Many other of my colleagues are here with us tonight at Tri-Counties, and they're more than teammates, they're friends. In addition to my work family, many of my dearest friends have been role models for community service and are also with me here tonight. They are leaders in the community who inspire me by their acts of service. And we've worked together, I'm very proud to say, to help improve our communities. I've been fortunate to have the opportunity to serve and support many local organizations in the greater Sacramento area. The one that I've been involved with the longest is the Center for Fathers and Families. I believe, as Daniel, I think, so eloquently said, that many issues we have today start at home, and we need more people to stand in the gap and provide guidance, mentoring, and leadership to young men and women, too many of whom are growing up without a father. I'm grateful to my longtime friend and mentor, the CEO of the Center for Fathers and Families, and also happens to be Sacramento City Councilman Rick Jennings. I just call him Rick. Thank you, Rick, for being here and for showing me through your actions what it looks like to serve your community. Finally, I'd like to thank my immediate family. And while I graduated, Dan, you and I are about the same age, I graduated just about, well, exactly 30 years ago. You could say my Sac State journey started long before my first semester. Fun fact, my parents met here while attending Sacramento State University, right about the time Dan was born. Their first date was across the street at the old, those of you may know this, the old Shakey's Pizza location right off campus. Shout out to Shakey's Pizza. I wouldn't be here without that first date. My dad then eventually proposed to my mom here on campus. And after graduating, my dad went on to serve in the United States Air Force. That's where you learn what it means to serve. So indeed, Sac State has a lot of meaning for the Robertson family. Unfortunately, my mom passed away earlier this year, but my dad is with us here tonight, and I just want to take this opportunity to say thanks, Dad. Big thanks to the rest of my immediate family as well, many of whom are here this evening. Most importantly, the person who's taught me more about service than anyone else is my lovely wife, Michelle. Thank you for always showing me what it truly means to serve others. I share this incredible honor with you, my partner, my best friend, my encourager and supporter. I love you with all my heart. I want to say once again, big congratulations to all the honorees. I'm honored to be in your presence. It's inspiring to see the role that this great university has had in all of our lives. It's all part of our journey. So may we hear these words and be inspired to serve others and to make a difference in our community. Thank you all so very much.
Congratulations to Scott. Our next Distinguished Service Award recipient is Dr. Margaret Washington. Now, Dr. Washington comes from a family of Sacramento State graduates, instructors, and supporters, and while Sac State holds a special place in Margaret's heart, her research and her teaching has taken her a long ways to Cornell University, where she is the Marie Underhill Knoll Professor of American History Emeritus. Margaret graduated from Sacramento State with a degree in history and has gone on to make significant contributions in the field of American history, enriching our understanding, particularly in African American history, women's rights, spirituality, and more. Margaret proudly proclaims that her education at Sacramento State provided the tools and the foundation for her success. She continues to support the campus and the community, including the establishment of the James B. Creel Scholarship in memory of her son, and encouraging her family to continue the Hornet tradition. To congratulate Dr. Margaret Washington, Distinguished Service Award recipient, I'd like to invite Margaret's daughter, Celeste Creel, and niece, Anita Crawford Clark, to the stage at this point to receive the award on her behalf. Now, while Dr. Washington was not able to be with us physically tonight, she was able to record her remarks, and so now here is Dr. Margaret Washington.
Good evening. I wish I could be there with you. It is indeed an honor to be considered one of Sac State's distinguished alumni and to be recognized as such. I don't know how distinguished I am, but I do know that having graduated from Sac State with a Bachelor's of Arts degree in history has had a huge impact on the trajectory of my life as a scholar and a public historian. From a scholarly perspective, I have received a first-class education at Sac State, so that when I left for graduate school at New York University, I was prepared to excel among students from major universities from all over the country. And even though at Sac State, it took me forever to decide on American history over European history, I soon discovered, after a course with Professor Ernie Isaacs, that African American history was my passion. So Sac State's history department set me on the path to becoming a historian of the Black experience. When I returned to Sacramento with my MA, unable to find a teaching job at a community college, Sac State's Dean of Students, Dr. Peg McCone, hired me as an assistant dean. But after a couple of years, when I realized that I was on the wrong side of the desk, Sac State's history department rescued me. I enrolled in UC Davis's PhD program, and Sac State hired me to teach American history part-time. It's not often that universities hire their own, even part-time. So I am grateful because that experience taught me that I not only loved studying history, I loved teaching history. Equally significant to my time at Sac State, for which I am eternally grateful, was my activism. The 60s were turbulent times. It was the height of the student movement, multiracial demands for national equity, anger over young men fighting an undeclared war, and yes, shocking underrepresentation of students of color on campuses, including Sac State. The small Black student body at Sac State wanted and demanded change. When I didn't have my nose in a book, I was trying to organize on campus and in the community. And my history professors, at least, were thoroughly supportive. Let me finish by thanking Sac State for its role in turning me into a public historian. Even as I became a professor at UC Irvine, UCLA, and Cornell, the work I have done over the years as historical consultant on documentaries at museums, middle schools, and high schools has been ultra rewarding. And that early on undergraduate nurturing and approval in and outside of the classroom made all the difference. At Sac State, a first-class education and professors who did not censor my activism made me know that I could teach history, write history, and bring history to the people. So thank you, Sac State. I really do consider myself made at Sac State.
Congratulations once again to Margaret. Our next award, the Rising Star Award, is given to individuals who early on in their career have made outstanding contributions professionally to the community or to Sacramento State. It's now my pleasure to introduce Elizabeth Gabler, the recipient of the Rising Star Award. Now, Rising Star isn't just the title of her award, it is in fact the focus of Elizabeth's burgeoning career. Her aerospace journey began in Placerville in 2012 as a docent at the Community Observatory and continued at Sacramento State. During her time on campus, Elizabeth conducted numerous planetarium field trip shows and developed a captivating Harry Potter-themed show while earning her degree in applied physics with a minor in astronomy. In addition, she was a design engineer intern on the DART mission at Aerojet Rocketdyne in 2017, which led to a permanent role, significant contributions, and a successful DART mission launch in 2021 that exceeded expectations. Today, she is a neutron radiographer at the McClellan Nuclear Research Center, conducting testing for NASA and the Department of Defense, with dreams of flying with the Thunderbirds or the Blue Angels, and eventually playing a role in landing boot prints on Mars. Please join me in congratulating Elizabeth Gabler, Rising Star Award recipient.
Thank you, everyone. I was really honored and unexpected to receive this award. I've truly just been following my passion all my life. I've always been into sciences, but 2012 is when things started to change for me. I was asked to be a docent at the Community Observatory in Placerville. And until then, I wanted to do paleontology, but I don't really like camping or getting dirty. So it was kind of a good thing. They were like, hey, come check out astronomy, see what you think. And 2 months after that, there was the Coloma meteorite, and I got to go meteorite hunting with NASA. So flash forward 5 years, and I was working on a spacecraft to deflect asteroids from hitting the planet again. I was lucky to start here as a student in 2015. I was in the physics program, which is very small, and I loved it because all my professors knew me. They were helping me get to where I wanted to be. And yeah, I was a student designing a spacecraft. I was one of 3 design engineers on the propulsion systems for DART, and just a handful of women on the mission. So it was a huge honor. My boss took a real big chance on me. There were a lot more people more qualified. I didn't even know what CAD was, and he asked if I wanted to learn. So most of my career has been people taking chances, saying, hey, you want to do this? Let's make it happen. And I really appreciate it. And yeah, I was there to watch DART launch, and that was the happiest moment in my life. Seeing my work actually go into space made it all the more real. And I was at my current job when it impacted, and I was just sitting there bouncing, crying, knowing everything I worked so hard for in college, everything succeeded. And I love my current job. I get to work on everything that goes into space, flies on fighter jets, everything for Department of Defense, SpaceX, NASA, all that comes through our facility. And I get to learn all about nuclear reactors and new technology, and I just get to do what I'm passionate about every day. And I'm very thankful my parents have supported me. My amazing boyfriend's gotten me through so much this last year, and he's been so supportive. And I've got middle school and elementary school teachers here, a lot of my professors. I'm very appreciative for everything everyone's done for me. They always believed in me. They didn't hate me when the planetarium opened and I literally burst down their door the first day saying, get out, this is mine. As soon as that thing opened, I wanted to learn. Dr. Wars taught me how to code, and I got to build my own planetarium shows, do field trips, see the younger generations light up with interest, seeing what they can do, sparking new passions for them. And that's what I really try and do to give back is everyone did so much for me. I want to help everyone else who wants the same thing. Like anyone can go into aerospace or do what you're passionate about. You just have to have that drive. And I'm very, very appreciative for all of Sac State, everyone in my life who's supported me. And yeah, this is a huge honor, so thank you all so much.
Congratulations, Elizabeth. On to our next award, the Honorary Alumnus Award. It is given to friends of the university who have demonstrated a close affinity to the campus and who have rendered exceptional support and leadership to the university or to the Alumni Association. It's now my pleasure to introduce Robert Bob Olson, the recipient of an Honorary Alumnus Award. Now, Bob may have graduated from Oregon State University in 1971, but since 1980, he has devoted his career and his service to Sacramento. Bob and two friends formed the J.R. Roberts Corporation, eventually growing it into one of the top 100 largest contractor firms in the United States. Not long after that, Bob joined with several others to form S.D. Deacon Construction. Bob brought his contracting and management skills and expertise to Sacramento State, and he has contributed nearly 20 years of voluntary leadership to the construction management program, working on accreditation for the program and serving as a mentor and as an industry advisor to students. Now, Bob's leadership also extends to Pride Industries, where he currently serves as the chair of the board of directors, overseeing growth and improvement in the numerous lives that Pride supports. Our campus and our community benefit from Bob's generosity, his leadership, and his support. Please join me in congratulating Bob Olson, Honorary Alumnus Award recipient.
Good evening. How you doing? I'm last here, so you know that 2 or 3 minutes we're supposed to have, the heck with it. We'll see it, you know. Anyway, I just want to say one thing, you know, very happy to, honored to have this award. It's a great award, and with the people that I got to listen to coming up, I feel like, you know, I'm not a doctor or anything like that. I just, you know, build a few things, that's about it. But one thing, this type of year is really cool to me because you got football and you got Halloween. And I was out here a little early because I couldn't remember how to get here, and so I was out on the street and on the curb, and I turned around, there was a skeleton right there, and I go, hey, well, why don't we walk across the road together? He said, well, I can't walk across the road. I said, well, why can't you walk across the road? He said, I don't have any guts. And so, you know, so and then you wouldn't believe this, but I got here early, and there was a Sac State marching band was practicing for their game against Montana State, I think, Saturday night. They were practicing their marching and playing their song, and the skeleton was still there. And I said, what's your favorite musical instrument? He goes, trombone. So anyway, I got more, but you know, it's I was chosen for this award for 3 reasons. Number one, my contribution to the construction industry, the local construction industry here in town, my contribution to the Sacramento State construction management, and also for my 31-year tenure at Pride Industries. I'd start with the CM program. I got a couple of memories there. We were starting we had a construction management program that had maybe 8 graduates and 40 students, and the construction industry said this isn't working. We need some graduates. So myself and a few other people got together and started this construction management education foundation to help grow the construction management program here, with the help of Dr. Gonzalez. Thank you, sir. And we grew it into a national known construction management program. And one kind of interesting thing is that they had a competition up in Sparks, Nevada every year for Region 7, which is a bunch of colleges to come in and have competition. And in different categories, 7 or 8 categories, retail, heavy civil, multifamily, that type of thing. So we had all these teams, and Sacramento State hadn't done very well, and but we were growing with all the people that were on the board coaching these kids. And so you had a 2-day to work on your program on this everybody, 8 or 9 teams in these different divisions. And then they'd have the award ceremony after they presented their answers to the questions and so forth. So anyway, Oregon State, you heard about the Oregon State. I went to Oregon State. They were one of the first construction management programs in the country, and very well known, and they would come to these competitions and they would do very well. Well, Sac State started doing fairly well too with the help of the Construction Management Education Foundation, and a lot of our members were coaches on these programs. So I was there, we were doing pretty good, and I decided to go to the Sparks, and there was my professor from Oregon State. I graduated in 1971, so this is like 2013. He's there. I go, hey, how you doing? Great, how you doing? What are you doing? I'm at Sac State. Oh, really? Yeah, okay, yeah. So Oregon State, you guys do pretty well. Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, I do. And so that year, after the competition, the award ceremony the next day, Sac State won 2 first place and 1 third place. Oregon State won a 2nd place. He's never talked to me since. So anyway, let's see. That was the other thing was about the same time. Some of you people that are as old as me will remember Sac State Hornets on September 3rd, 2011, beat the Oregon State Beavers 29-28 in overtime. That was the first time that Sac State had ever beaten a Pac-10 team. Well, now it's Pac-12 or Pac-2 or whatever, but it's first time ever. So after that 2 losses in my career, I'm really happy to be a honorary Hornet alumnus, So, and being affiliated with Pride Industries is probably, which is the leading employer of disabled people in the nation, has been probably the best thing that I've ever done in what I do. I mean, it's just unbelievable when you can actually make a difference in people's lives. And I've been on that board since 1992. I've been the chairman for the last 15 years. I got our executive team over here, Pride Industries. Why don't you guys stand up? This is amazing people right here. Jeff there. It's good. We have a saying, I came up with this saying, I don't know, 20 years ago, pride is good, and that's kind of what our mantra is. So anyway, also for you in the construction business, what I've given to the construction over the years here in Sacramento areas is that for those of you, again, who are really old like I am, one of our first contributions to Sac State is that we were the contractor to remodel the original Hornet bookstore. And I think some of the people that work for my company were on that job. I don't know if they're here right now, but I can see a couple people from our group, from the Construction Management Foundation. I'd like them to stand that are previous and are still on the board. Could you stand up? I see you guys back there. Anyway, it's a great honor tonight to get this award, and I feel very happy to be an honorary alumni of Sac State, and amazing people that you just listened to too. So this has been a great evening, and I'm blessed and honored to accept this award. So, well, how do you do that? Fingers up.
Thank you, Bob, for those comments and a little bit of stand-up mixed in. It's good stuff. All right, one more round of applause for all of the evening's honorees. We also want to take a moment right now to recognize our platinum and gold level sponsors for the evening, Tri-Counties Bank, SMUD, Pride Industries, and Sutter Health. A round of applause for all those sponsors. It's been a great evening, a lot of fun. To all the friends, family, alumni, and colleagues who are here in the room, thank you for supporting Sacramento State and attending tonight. We hope to see you at more events in the future. And now I'd like to invite Jennifer Barber to return to the stage for closing remarks.
Well, this has been an amazing evening. I thank you all for joining us. As our evening does come to a close, I do want to take a moment to thank and recognize our MC, Kevin Riggs. And I would also like to thank President Wood. This was his first Distinguished Alumni Awards with us. Killed it. Awesome. We appreciate your support of your Alumni Association and all that you do for Sacramento State. And last but not least, I would also like to take a moment to recognize the hard work and efforts of the many staff and volunteers that made this evening successful. Let's give them a round of applause. So please feel free to stay and mingle and connect with each other. We look forward to seeing you, as Kevin said, at future events. Thank you so much, and have a fantastic evening. See you at football Saturday.